Hi, this is Tim Vasquez with the Texas Weather Forecast. Recording this about 12:30 a.m. on Saturday. And to get an idea what's going to happen over the weekend, we need to look at yesterday. This is the visible satellite imagery about 3 p.m. Shows the sea breeze across the coastal plains of Texas from about Victoria to Houston to about Lake Charles. High pressure continuing to keep things shut down. You see that big area of clearing across Texas and Oklahoma. That's the big upper level high, keeping the temperatures up and the clouds at bay. Out to the west, though, the usual showers and thunderstorms over the mountains of New Mexico and along a little convergence line along the Texas-New Mexico border. A lot of that is associated with the monsoonal flow pushing northwestward into the Rocky Mountain region, and that's usually what we see about this time as we get into late summer. Now, a new product I'm going to show you is the water vapor imagery. What happens here is it detects radiation coming up from the surface through the troposphere and stratosphere. Here in Iowa, the air is fairly dry. There's been a couple of MCSs going through there, kind of cleaning out the moisture. And what's happening is the radiation works its way up through the troposphere. It doesn't get attenuated by any moisture, so the satellite sees it as warm. All the radiation makes it up. It looks like it's a hot sample, and it's painted as dark. But out over Texas, 100-degree readings, they launch up off the ground, up towards the satellite, they radiate upwards, and they're extinguished by mid-level moisture. So a lot less of the radiation makes it up to the satellite. It's detected as cool in those particular IR bands that are susceptible to water vapor. And it reads as cool, and it's plotted kind of as a grayish-white color. So from that we can kind of determine that there's a lot of mid-level moisture in the atmosphere. This channel is not so sensitive to low-level moisture, so we can't really use it to find plumes working up from the Gulf. But overall, through very deep tropical moisture, it actually works pretty well. And we can see overall that there's kind of a moisture surge working its way northward. We can see the monsoon coming up into the southern Rockies. And out east, a lot of the moisture has been cleaned out by southerly surges, thunderstorm outflow, that kind of stuff working its way south. So that's one new product to look at, and we're going to see a lot more of this during the winter season. What's happening at the surface? Let me close off my overlay there. This is the picture on Saturday morning in the pre-dawn hours. We can see that there's southerly flow, and it's come around a little more to the southeast. Instead of going north, it's going more northeast. So there's probably a little bit of pressure falls out over the lee side of the Rockies. And as expected, we see that convergence line in eastern New Mexico and eastern Colorado into the Goodland area of Kansas. That's going to be kind of semi-stationary over the next day or so. So we're going to see thunderstorm development in that area over the next few days until the pattern changes. Nothing really for Texas. We're just going to stay under kind of a stagnant flow. So that brings us to the GFS global forecast model. That's really about the only thing we need to look at in this kind of stagnant late summer pattern. We're going to look at a lot more products as we get into the winter time, the fall and the winter. But for now, the patterns are very simple, and this pretty much breaks it on down as far as the day-to-day. So what do we have here? High pressure over the Wichita Falls area for today. That's keeping things very clear and warm across Texas. There is that little band of strong easterly winds working onto the South Texas coast, but it's not really doing a whole lot down there. And as we go into the weekend, not a whole lot to change. High pressure centered over the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We start picking up a little bit of a southerly flow in West Texas. That'll probably bring more low-level moisture northward, but it's not going to have much of an effect on the weather over the next few days. In fact, we're going to have to wait all the way until late next week. See, we're getting into Saturday next week. We start bringing this northwesterly flow aloft. And that's really good for triggering storms on the lee sides of the Rockies during the afternoon, and those move through overnight into Oklahoma. If you go back to 1996, there was a prolific example of this where this was going on every night in August. I don't think we're going to have that this time around, but that's kind of the thing that we sometimes see in August, where we get the northwesterly flow aloft. This may make it all the way down to Dallas, definitely Oklahoma City to Childress, but we'll wait and see whether that's going to get down to the I-20, I-30 area. And then at the 192, 240 hour, we're starting to get away from the range in the models, but you can see it's got very strong northerly flow, so this means a strong moderation in temperatures, probably highs in the upper 80s to low 90s, chances for precipitation every day through this first week of August, and that'll probably break up the pattern that we've had over the past few weeks here. Give us some more stuff to look at. And you can see that the high pressure area recedes out to the west, so it's going to get hot in this southwestern U.S., and it will become a little bit mild here in Texas with a ridge to the west and the upper level trough to the east, and that always means a moderation in the weather forecast here in this part of the U.S. So that's the quick Texas weather forecast, and we'll see you tomorrow or the next day. Thanks for watching.